Okay. Hey, Lynn. Yeah, and I wanted to talk to you about that one day, about that whole what I'm learning about it, stuff that I didn't even know before, right? It's fascinating. Good morning, and welcome to UU Mount Airy. I am Tim Steyer, and I use he, him pronouns. And it is my honor to be co-leading our service today together with Linda Hansel. Big thank you to Abby Reimold. And I was just saying to Abby, just to sing her praises before we get started, that we actually could do a whole worship service just listening to her. So I got a chance to hear her music. Thank you for being here. And to Connor Sheehan, running our AV Tech today. A few small announcements before we begin. Please silence any cell phones so that we may all be as present as possible in this space. Restrooms, if you need them, are located at the rear of the sanctuary, down the stairs to the right, or you can ask someone to help you with the lift that will take you right down in front of the restrooms downstairs. We are streaming live, and if you are joining us online, you can choose to toggle on the closed caption by clicking the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom. This is a UU congregation, which means we are people of many differences, different faith traditions, different racial identities, different gender expressions, and of all different people of togetherness who make covenant promises to be together and to act with love for transformation, liberation, and healing. Today's service is a look at that word that in a lot of cases people use negatively, something that I've been thinking about for a while. It's a look at liberalism, some history, its relationship to religion, and what it means to UUs in these times. Come, let us worship together. Okay. As we light, and Linda's going to join me in lighting the chalice, if you read the words with me. We light this chalice for the morning that has come. May we arise and greet the day, dance with joy, and sing a song of gladness. May it bring faith to guide the journey home. Our opening hymn is number 123, Spirit of Life. Please rise in body or in spirit and find the lyrics in the teal hymnal. I don't think we have them on the screen, but we do. It'll be in your teal hymnal, and Abby is going to lead us. Great. I'm sorry.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots only close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Good morning. Part of our being a community is learning to share the authentic and vulnerable parts of ourselves with others, to see and be seen, to know and be known. We make space today for that sharing, all of which helps to build this congregation into a beloved community. We invite you to share what's going on in your life, to name your feelings and the people on your heart, anyone in need of prayer, good energy, best wishes, or other help. We invite you to get into your body and investigate what emotions you're experiencing, to share them as you feel called, so we can help one another hold our joys, our grief, and our in-between feelings. We build community by celebrating our good things, mourning our troubles, taking risks, and listening deeply. For those here in the sanctuary, we ask that you come up one at a time by the side aisle, pick up a stone or stones from the basket, infuse it with your joy or sorrow, and place it in the bowl of water, where its energy will ripple out to be held by all of us. This morning, we invite you to take a moment to witness how your stone nestles with all the other stones in the water, which symbolizes our community's shared grief and joy. If you'd like to speak about something on your heart, please speak directly into the microphone and be mindful that we are broadcasting to the internet. For those of you on Zoom today, I apologize, but we're not going to be able to share your joys or sorrows out loud. That technology is just a little bit beyond Tim and I today. McKinley knows how to do it. So, but if you have something, you can always email McKinley, and he'll see it this week. So please come, whoever you are. The sacred space of deep sharing is now open.
for a bit. This morning my husband flew in from Seattle and on a red eye, and we're getting packed up, and hopefully on Wednesday we're heading back and to Seattle, but I wanted to take a minute to thank everybody here and everybody in Philadelphia who has been part of this amazing journey, getting a lung transplant and all that stuff. And so just wanted to thank you and let you know how grateful I am to all of this.
Hi, my name is Anam. Just real quick, I'm sort of on this journey of gratitude and clarity, and it continues, and I'm just really grateful for all of you and the community that we have here. Thanks.
I'm keeping in my hearts my cousin and his wife, who are both facing some health challenges. And I had a joy this week. I had friends come into town to attend one of the World Cup soccer matches, the one on Thursday. It was Ivory Coast versus Curacao. And these are dear friends who now live in Michigan, and they're a couple of their grown sons who I don't get to see often, and it was just a joy to host them. And so I'm very happy about that.
Hello, I'm Lila. My sorrow, I guess, is I've shared before. I have a rare medical condition, and just this next year or two, we're trying to navigate forward how having kids would fit in with that, and it's complicated and rare. So I'm kind of an N of one situation. So just thoughts that I have the information to make a decision, and it turns out how I'm hoping. The joy is that I've gotten to see a lot of friends this month and next month, and we're just so happy to have such great people.
I put a stone in for my daughter Rachel, who, as some of you may know, works for Pico Energy. And she's been with them for ever since about 3 years now. She's a single mom, and they just but announced that they're going to go on strike July 4th. First time in history Pico Energy will have gone on strike. Of course, she's hoping that it doesn't last too long because she'll be without pay. But the good thing about it is her and I have had a lot of talks about, she wasn't fully aware about corporate greed and what that means, and so she's really in line with the union and, July 4th. So hopefully they're going to have talks July 2nd, so maybe they'll come to an agreement.
Okay, I lost my kitty cat. She passed away. She was almost 18. Her name was Blue. She had the most beautiful blue eyes. She and her mother and her two sisters came onto my patio almost 18 years ago, and they were just so sweet. I thought, I'm taking these cats in. I didn't have a cat at the time, and I have a lot more now. But yeah, it was very sad. It was very emotional. And also, I have a 32, almost 33-year-old son who is trans, was born a female and transitioned 10 years ago. And he and I argue about everything. And I am getting to the point where I don't know what to do. I don't even know what to say to him. I'll say the slightest little thing, and hangs up, and I'm like, what am I talking to, a teenager or something? So I don't know if he's going through like a delayed teenage thing or what, but if anybody has any advice, I'll take it. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Portia, and I just got back from a trip to Florida where I was working with a group of teachers, and the work was called Celebrating the Uniqueness of Teachers, something like that. It was so incredible. What I found happening though is that the family relationships underride what teachers do when they're working with children, what they carry over into those settings. And I was excited that people really got it. They really got it. I'm grateful for that. I'm also grateful that my other family, which has been incognito for a long time, has finally come out. And we're having one or two reunions. And it just warms my heart to see that we're still connected. It's great.
And now let's enter into a moment of silence for all those joys and sorrows that were spoken and for those also that were unspoken. Now we'll have our offertory. Linda is going to guide us.
So now is the time when we collect our offering of financial resources for the good of this community. For giving of financial support, your money or checks that you put in the plate today will be used to fund the everyday operations of this congregation, for which we are very grateful. Any pocket change or other money that you designate for change by putting it in a white envelope in the pew will be sent to this month's selected Change for Change organization, which is the Salvage Compost. More info is on your screen about how to give online, and anyone can use the mobile app called Venco Mobile. Please know that if this is your first time with us, there's no expectation that you give anything other than a contact form, which should be in the pew, or by letting us know how you found us and how we can support you. The offering will now be gratefully accepted.
next we're going to have a brief video message from our minister, Reverend McKinley.
Good morning. I'm Reverend McKinley Sims. I use he, him pronouns. I'm the minister of this congregation, and I'm on vacation right now, but I wanted to share an update and reflection from our General Assembly, which is the annual gathering of Unitarian Universalists from across the world that happens every June. This year, some of it took place in Louisville, Kentucky, but the rest of it was online. So this gave folks a chance to access General Assembly who had not been able to travel before, who were not financially able to go and take a week of their time to go to places like San Jose or Baltimore or Kansas City. Most of it was online, but there was some programming in Louisville, Kentucky. And one of the things that happened at General Assembly was the Where Lecture, an annual lecture series put on by the Unitarian Universalist Association that features such speakers as Martin Luther King, Elaine Pagels, Desmond Tutu, and others. It's a really big deal, and this year the speaker was Bishop Buddy, who is the bishop of the Diocese of the Episcopal Church of Washington, D.C. She works at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. You may be familiar with some of her work in speaking directly to President Trump, imploring mercy and justice in the treatment of immigrants here in America. She went viral last year in speaking truth to power from her position as rector of the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. So she was the Where Lecture speaker this year. And the Where Lecture took place last Saturday, and we got to watch it. It was really inspiring, and I just wanted to share a quick message as part of Tim's overall service about what Bishop Buddy talked about. She spoke from her tradition as a Christian Episcopalian minister, and she gave thanks for Unitarian Universalists and for liberal progressive people of faith and conscience and goodwill from across history. She talked about our superpower as UUs is being the first people in line to do works of justice, to try out new ways of community, of being the vanguard of putting love at the center. She said that UUs go first. That's your superpower. And you do it together. The theme of this year's General Assembly was everywhere together, meeting the moment. And she spoke about how when we do interfaith work, we don't often speak the same theological language. Sometimes we don't speak the same actual spoken language. We come from different cultural places and different understandings. But when we put love at the center, when we do the work that we are called to do, in her language, it's doing the kingdom of God work. In our language, we might say the kingdom of the good, building beloved community. And when we do that work, we do so across the lines that are meant to divide us. And that if enough of us put love at the center and follow those of us, a smaller portion of us, who are willing to go first, to do the hard things, to be justice makers and bridge builders, that enough of us do that work, then more of the rest of the population starts to do that work too. And in the theory of social change, that's how ideas that become far-fetched, pie-in-the-sky pipe dreams become lived realities. This has been the call of liberal people throughout history. It was not the people in the middle, it was not the moderates who changed the world. It was the liberal, progressive people, religious people, faithful people, faith-filled people who went first, who said, I feel called to respond to this moment with my values. It has been the cause of liberalism for a long time, and we stand in that tradition. So that does not mean that everyone needs to be on the protest line at every rally, because that's not how social change theory works. You need some people to be at the protests, to be at the rallies, to be on the megaphones. And you need some people to do relationship building work, bridge building work, as Bishop Buddy called it. To speak to people, to listen to people, to share your heart and your vulnerability with one another. That people do not follow movements or ideas. People follow people. And people especially follow people that they know and trust, that they have a relationship with. And as she said, with relationships, all things are possible. Relationships are everything. So as we listen to the wisdom of Tim today, I invite you to think about your relationships and how you put your liberal progressive values into them as part of this great social change work that we're trying to do to build a world of justice and peace. And as we remember what America is and has been for 250 years, with all of its flaws and dark pages of history, may we also look forward to what America might still be becoming in these next 250 years. May it be so. Amen. Thank you, friends. Turn it back over to you, Tim.
Thank you, McKinley. First of all, if I didn't say it at the beginning, it is a joy to be with you today. And as we stand at this remarkable threshold looking towards the 250th anniversary of this American experiment. Like many of you, my journey into Unitarian Universalism was a path of profound liberation. I was raised with 16 years of Catholic education, steeped in hierarchy where authority flowed downwards from the Pope and the bishops and the priests. It was a world of rigid structures where every action felt as though it required a divine stamp of approval from on high. I must confess that my identity and understanding as a liberal didn't truly crystallize until my later years in high school or perhaps during the start of college. From that point on, the term was frequently used by others towards me as a slight against me. We hear a lot of that today. It was just the other day we heard one of the Secretary of Transportation talk about the libtards, right? And that led me to perceive liberalism as something inherently negative. But as a young man, I also began to look at our country's democratic ideals and wonder why my Catholic faith didn't reflect that same freedom. Finding Unitarian Universalism was like finally catching my breath. It was a transition from a world of must to a world of may, where my own conscience was finally given the keys to the kingdom. As we reflect on 250 years of American identity, I see that same struggle to move from external control to internal liberation and an abolition of systems and practices that have held us back from fully realizing the dreams and aspirations spelled out in our Declaration of Independence 250 years ago. When we talk about liberalism today, it is so easy to get bogged down in the grit of partisan politics, and it really isn't about that. But liberalism is something much deeper than politics. It is a tradition of the spirit. It began with the Enlightenment and thinkers like John Locke. Early Unitarianism was deeply intertwined with the Enlightenment, featuring prominent figures like the scientist and theologian Joseph Priestley, who bridged the gap between rationalist scientific inquiry and religious reform. Locke, who dared to suggest that power shouldn't belong to kings by divine right, but to individuals by natural right. These ideas, life, liberty, and the pursuit of meaning, shifted the seat of power from the throne to the human heart. Liberalism, in its truest sense, is the revolutionary idea that each individual has the capacity and the right to think for themselves. It is the framework that allows us to move away from the divinely originated authority. The originated authority that I grew up with, and towards a society where the individual spirit is the primary authority. There is a beautiful, necessary dance between liberalism and religion. Often people think that they are at odds, but in fact, liberalism provides the very soil in which true religion grows. By protecting the right of conscience, liberalism creates a sanctuary where we can seek truth without coercion. It ensures that no government or hierarchy can tell you what your soul must believe. For us as UUs, this is the fertile ground of our religious freedom. Without the liberal tradition, our search for truth and meaning would be a dangerous act. Liberalism isn't the absence of faith, it is the protection of the space where faith can be authentic, diverse, and deeply personal. Our Unitarian Universalist values are the ultimate expression of the liberal spirit. When we fulfill the covenant of Article 2 of the UUA bylaws, which centers our faith on the spiritual discipline of love, and a pledge to dismantle white supremacy and all forms of systemic oppression, replacing them with ever-widening circles of solidarity. We practice this daily through our shared ministry. Unlike the hierarchies of the faith of my youth, our congregational leadership is shared between the Board of Trustees, the minister, and every member of our congregation. We don't just talk about democratic ideals. We live them in our committee meetings, our congregational votes, and our collaborative work. Our faith is a living laboratory for liberalism, proving that when you empower the individual, you empower the community. Of course, the path has never been easy. Liberalism has always been a contested terrain in America. The 2024 election could be the last free election held in a unified America, warns Robert Kagan, a prominent foreign policy expert, author, and senior fellow from the Brookings Institution, known for his analysis of the threats posed to liberal democracy, highlighting the urgent threats posed by increasing radicalization of political forces against liberal democracy, because it constantly pushes for broader inclusion, demanding rights for the marginalized and the dismantling of rigid hierarchies. Liberalism naturally invites backlash. From the early tensions between Orthodox Congregationalism and the burgeoning Unitarian movement in 1815, to the modern day struggles over whose voices truly count, there have always been those who fear the liberating power of conscience. These attacks are a sign of liberalism's strengths. It is a philosophy that refuses to let us stay comfortable in our exclusion. It keeps calling us forward even when the world tries to pull us back. So, brothers and sisters, how we rise to this occasion today, our heritage calls us to be more than just observers. We must be the guardians of the tradition. We live our values through our social justice work, our UU, the Vote initiatives, local Meet the Moment Wave cohorts talked about at GA last Saturday, and our local efforts like our food pantry, vigils, and monthly Change for Change. We express our liberal values by showing up for the democratic process, both within these walls and in the streets. I urge you to engage deeply, to vote in our meetings that we have here at our church, serve on our board, and let your voice be part of the shared ministry. Just as we see in our wider community, when people do not participate in the democratic process, we lose the benefits of liberalism and democracy. We are the stewards of a 206-year history of our congregation as being the stewards of inclusion and injustice in our own community, 206 years. May we go forth with the courage of Theodore Parker, who's one of my favorite Unitarian ministers, and he was a radical abolitionist and a member of the Secret Six. He was a passionate advocate for social justice and firmly believed that the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. Let us be the light that ensures democracy and liberalism remains the bedrock of our faith. Amen. Blessed be. And now you can stay in your seats, and Abby is going to lead us in our hymn, We Are.
Each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. We are mothers of courage and fathers of time. We are daughters of dust and the sons of great visions. We're sisters of mercy and mothers of love. We are seekers of life and the builders of nations. We're seekers of truth and keepers of faith. We are makers of peace and the wisdom of ages. We are our grandmother's prayers, and we are our grandfather's dreamings. We are the breath of our ancestors. We are the Spirit of God. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are. For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings to the universe who we are.
Thank you, Abby. As we get ready to extinguish our chalice and to end our time together this morning, please remember to stick around for announcements in the slides and downstairs during coffee hour. Folks on Zoom are invited to check in with each other afterwards. For more information on what's going on in the life of this congregation, you can check the weekly e-newsletter that comes out on Thursdays. or you can peruse the inserts in your order of service. Finally, check out our website and our social media pages for more important updates. The words to extinguish our chalice are from Reverend Elizabeth Sell Jones. Please read them aloud with me here. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. Amen. Please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn 121, verses 1 to 3 in the gray hymnal, We'll Build a Land. You will find the lyrics in the gray hymnal or on the screen behind me.
We'll build a land where we bind up the broken. We'll build a land where the captives go free, where the oil of gladness dissolves all mourning. Oh, we'll build a promised land that can be. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll build a land where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted and all those who mourn, and we'll give them garlands instead of ashes. Oh, we'll build a land where peace is born. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream. We'll be a land building up ancient cities, raising up devastations from old, restoring ruins of generations. Oh, we'll be a land, a people so bold. Come, build a land where sisters and brothers, anointed by God, may then create peace, where justice shall roll down like waters, and peace like an ever-flowing stream.
Our closing words are, thank you for being with us today. I want to invite everyone to conversation and fellowship after the service in our basement coffee hour. We send each other out into the world in love. May it be so. and pull me back now, back now, now. There's been times that I felt lost, left, and alone. Oh no, no. Oh, but thank God I was still able to pick myself up and carry on. It's been a long time coming. Oh, and I know the change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Change has gotta come. Change don't come. All the change has been come. A change has gotta come. All the change has been come. It's been a long time I know. That's a crazy boy. I'm not talking about pocket change. Change is gonna come.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Clarence Baker and everybody else, fire!
Me, 52, day one of Tai Chi